This is Story Route Zero, a podcast where friends gather to talk of their travels through the good, the bad, the ugly, the funny, and even the confusing worlds encountered in games. We may not always know where we're going, but that's often half the fun. Do you have a question, comment, concern, or a story of your own? Hit us up on Twitter at storyroute_0. You can email us at storyroute0@gmail.com, and you can find everything we do at storyroute0.com. Let's have a journey. This is the time of life, and that, this is the time of life that I am living, and I will face each new day with a smile. For the time that I've been given is such a little while, and the things that I must do consist of more than style. Welcome to Story Route Zero. My name is Matthew Kiel. That was Arthur Lee of Love and the song You Set the Scene. I've got a cavalcade of interesting about to happen before me tonight, and I'm excited for it. Just north of Florida, man, we've got Moose. How are you?
Doing well, man. Doing well.
Cool. Glad to hear it. And just south of Governor Cuomo, we've got Jason Marshall. How are you doing?
Doing well.
And just on this side of legal, we have a special guest, Nikita. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Well.
Excellent.
Well.
How long you have?
Well.
I mean, is there enough deodorant for that conversation?
Never.
Okay, so before we get into it, so Nikita, you're new here.
Yes.
Who are you?
Nikita.
Okay. What do you do?
All right, moving on.
I am, a lawyer by my career, but I stream a lot of games on Twitch, and yeah, just pretty big nerd, I guess you could say.
What kind of nerd? What kind of nerd? Because nerd comes with connotation.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. So not Star Wars nerd. I'm a Harry Potter one. I know a lot about Harry Potter. Disney, I love Disney, obsessed, and I love video games, RPGs. Skyrim is my fucking kryptonite. I love it.
Have you met Moose?
Moose.
That's
amazing!
Now for the audio listeners, he just bore his arms, revealing Dragon Speak on one and the Triforce on the other.
Fuck me. That's great.
And after the pre-show conversation, we're back here again.
Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna ask, what kind of law do you practice?
I do criminal law. I'm a prosecutor.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I worked in private practice for a little bit when I did like wills and estates, personal injury, real estate, labor law, employment law, a little bit of everything. And it was way too much. And I wanted to practice one thing, and it was criminal law. So here we are.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
Pretty fun. It's more exciting, like a video game. There's something new every day. You don't know what's coming at you. So
That's yeah. Try healthcare during a pandemic, let me tell you.
Oh, honey.
Oh, man.
I bet you got some stories.
Oh, well, pre-pandemic, I had some stories. Now it's just weird. So this is Story Route Zero, episode 30, I believe, right?
Yep.
Is this episode? Wow.
You guys are getting old now. Jeez.
I know. Catching up to my age. We talk about video games. But before we do that, we ask about the weekend. Nikita, you're the guest. You're up first. How was your weekend? Non-gaming related.
Non-gaming related?
Non-gaming related.
Oh, God.
I mean, pretend you have a life for a second.
Okay, yeah. Drank way too much. To the point where I slept all day Sunday and all last night and never woke up till 7:30 this morning. Yeah.
Oh, doing it right. I miss those days.
Yeah. So Friday night I had a gaming night and I played until 3:30 a.m. So that was fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah. I was proud of myself. I haven't done that in a while.
Respect. Can't
How was
knock
your
the hustle.
weekend?
Jason, Moose, you guys want to go? Moose, we got to do the thumbs up, thumbs down because Moose will just derail us into video games. We don't want that. So he held one thumb up for like a while and then he brought the other one up. Well, okay, so that must mean he wants to talk. Moose, how was your weekend? Tell us about it.
It was very good. Very
Cool.
good. That's about it for right now because a lot of it involved video games, and we'll talk about those in a bit.
Awesome. Marshall, buddy. Or just a thumb up. Okay. You want to talk about it or no?
It was relaxing. It was a little too hot, but it was relaxing.
How hot was it?
97.
Nikita, I don't care what these two say. You're coming back. This is awesome.
How hot was it?
What's that in Celsius?
I don't speak United States. I'm sorry.
They don't know what freedom units are.
What's a freedom? Can I eat it?
What is that in FUs?
No, it was just a relaxing weekend.
I actually have to Google this.
Well, what did you say the temperature was? I got
97.
So that's what? That's probably
36
yeah,
Celsius.
it's like 36.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so F you. She's now like, huh.
Yeah.
No, it was nothing happened, which I guess is good when you have two gremlins running around. Nobody's injured. We're good.
I don't know. I saw that video of Arya being 1-1, and I think she was about to just people's elbow Amelia.
Arya beat World 1-1 again, so that's 2 for those listening. That's 2 times.
She's almost halfway there.
Yes, she needs to beat it 5 times before we move on to World 1-2. Okay. But in this version, she beat it. She kind of gets a bonus point because she beat it with her little sister hanging on top of her trying to grab the controller.
Amelia was going after that switch.
There's video evidence, and Arya's like, no.
Yeah.
And then the baby's crying. So not only did she have to deal with the baby trying to get the controller from her, then she's dealing with the crying distraction. It was funny.
And I was recording, so I couldn't interfere. Let them go.
Yes, you're an artist. You had to work.
I didn't see any blood, so nobody had to stop. Whistle didn't blow till there was bloodshed. It was like, boom.
Apparently, Jason's not a father. He's a referee in the Thunderdome.
That's what parenting is.
Oh gosh. Well,
and then last thing, we did close the weekend / today with a 28-inch pizza pie special from this restaurant by us for $20. 28-inch.
What? 28 inches, that's less than $1 per inch. I know, who could charge more?
Yeah, she's definitely coming back. Nikita's definitely coming back. Sorry, I am completely broken now.
Like this.
Yes, I did it. My mission here has been accomplished. I have broken
Wow.
10, not even 10 minutes in.
Wow, that's Glasson has something to shoot for next time he's on.
Notes got thrown out. We're done.
Yeah. So you finished it with a 28-inch pizza pie.
Yes.
Did you finish the 28-inch pizza pie?
No. But the kids ate, Amelia ate 2 slices.
But what was in it?
Oh, we just got plain.
Cheese. Just cheese.
Yeah.
Just cheese.
Oh, cheese.
Yeah. Arya,
so good.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Amelia is not super picky, but is Arya picky with pizza pie?
Okay, this is Amelia. Dumb food on. Could blindfold her.
Yeah.
Not picky.
Yeah. Reba's little cousin Vivian, I watched her mess up some freaking buffalo wings.
Nice.
Bone-in wings. She's just like, ah. It looked like Animal and Cookie Monster on cocaine. It was crazy.
I've had both kids recreate that meme where they have all the blueberries, and it's bring me another Smurf.
Every time I hear blueberry, I think of the blueberry lady from the Willy Wonka, and the Oompa Loompas are just rolling her out on the side.
Veronica. Wasn't it?
Right,
Veruca.
yes.
Yes. No, it wasn't Veronica. It's Veruca Salt.
No.
You
No.
get nothing.
Yes,
Good
you
day,
get
sir.
nothing.
Wait, what?
Ooh.
What?
Wait. Is there a name Veronica? Crap. Clearly, it's been too long since I've seen the good Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, so I have to.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I think that's her name. Violet Beauregard is her name.
Oh, okay. So we were all wrong.
Yeah, there is a Veruca, but that's not who. Isn't there? No.
Yeah, Veruca Salt is the. She's the ultra spoiled rat.
Yeah,
she's the most spoiled.
Yeah.
She's the rich bitch.
Second, followed by second is probably Augustus, and then it's probably Violet or Mike TV. Now it's all coming back to me. So for me, this weekend was a lot of work. I did a long weekend, so I was overnight Saturday night and Sunday night.
12 hours? 12-hour shifts or
12 hours, yeah.
Oh.
8:30. No, I'm sorry. 9:30 to 9:30 Saturday into Sunday, and then 8 to 8 Sunday into today. And I've been up ever since.
Oh my god!
But in a little bit of downtime, I actually watched a really good movie that I'd never seen before. I'm a big fan of the film director John Frankenheimer. He did the original Manchurian Candidate, and he did several others that, of course, now that I'm talking about it, I can't freaking think of it. But he directed this movie in 1966 called Grand Prix. It stars James Garner, Yves Montand, and Eve Marie Saint.
I know him.
And it's actually a pretty interesting Technicolor epic about racing, specifically F1, and it's a really good story, a really good cross section of 4 racers' careers, their business dealings, their wives, their girlfriends, and it was really interesting. I mean, pacing is definitely a movie that's 50 some odd years old. It doesn't convey as much as a movie today would, but still, it's a 3-hour movie, and I was pretty much gripped the entire time. And you got to respect a movie that has an overture at the beginning and then an intermission. That's not done. They don't make them like that anymore. And I was just really good. It was really cool to see a movie like that. I really like dramatic sports movies and I usually don't watch a lot when it comes to racing unless it's documentaries. But yeah, no, that was pretty much the highlight. Reba and Bagel were in the mountains. Bagel is my dog.
Got a puppy.
He's a bagel. Basically, that's code for he's a mix. So we just call him what his name is. Sure. Sure. Yes, we got him at Dunkin' Donuts. It's real weird. But they were in the mountains, so I was by myself, and yeah, that's really it. It's a good time.
Frankenheimer directed Ronin, one of my
I was gonna say
favorite movies. That's a great movie.
Ronin is awesome. Favorite De Niro movie.
I wanted to really. Wow.
You know what? I feel like we do this a lot.
There we go.
I feel like we do this a lot, and you know what?
That's
you
okay.
Take your artsy schmartsy stance and shove it where the sun don't shine.
Honestly, I pegged you for either Goodfellas or Taxi Driver. I'm sorry.
True story. Have not seen Goodfellas.
Okay.
And Taxi Driver once, and I do like Taxi Driver, but I like the pacing of
Get your shine
Ronin better. And Ronin has some phenomenal car chase scenes.
It really does.
He did an amazing job with that. Yeah. So anyway,
not arguing that at all.
Yeah. And it's got
it's your favorite.
What's his name?
Sean Bean's in it, and he dies as
per
usual.
No, he doesn't. He just Spoilers. He just leaves. Who is the guy from The Professional?
Jean Reno.
Yeah. I love him too. He's great in that movie as well. So it was like a good pairing, you know. So
also, I just remembered this. Spent a lot of time listening to a lot of jazz and funk, and I realized that James Brown's awesome live album Sex Machine turned 50 this past week.
Jesus.
And if you listen to that album today, you basically see where that album should basically called The Shape of Soul to Come, because it covers funk, it covers 70s and soul into the 80s. And I believe that's the first live performance or recorded live performance of Give It Up, Turn It Loose, which basically laid the foundations for hip hop. So James Brown was real good. Oh, and I listened to the Who's Live at Leeds for the first time in like a couple of years. That's a motherfucker of an album, which means it's good. Let's get to games, shall we? Let's get to games, shall we?
Always.
Nikita.
Yeah.
What you playing?
What am I playing? I'm playing a lot of fucking things, honestly. So, when my boyfriend goes to work, I am a PC gamer. So I've been playing Monster Hunter World.
When the boyfriend's away, the PC's gonna play.
That's my mom. I need to put that on a shirt. Fucking passing that. Great idea. So Monster Hunter World, Iceborne.
I'm an idea man. My follow-through's awful. Just say it right now. Anyway, continue.
Most men's are.
Oh, you called me a man. Thank you so much. I don't even see that when I look in the mirror, but that's a whole set of psychological garbage. Anyway.
You need to talk about it. Where are you, man?
My wife's a therapist. I'll talk to her. It's fine.
Okay. So Iceborne. Have you guys played?
Not
Iceborne. I've played a little bit of it. I actually need to play more Monster Hunter.
Love it.
You won't.
It's so like I was a hater for a long time because I was playing alone, but then I discovered the beauty that is friends and playing together.
What are those?
Yeah, we're screwed then.
I had to Google it once, and
every time I Google it, I see that dumb fucking Friends show from the 90s. Yeah, fuck that show.
From the 90s? I don't know.
I don't know. What is that?
All I hear about is Ross and Rachel. Fuck that. Anyway, so Iceborne.
It was a break.
There you go.
I learned that from my wife.
Good wife. That's a good wife. But yeah, I've been playing that. Overwatch. I've been learning to play Moira, so that's fun. But then on my Switch, I've been playing Pokemon Sword, Elder Scrolls Blades, which is probably really terrible.
How is that?
But I love it. I'm so addicted.
Okay.
Check Switch. 700 hours. What is wrong with you?
I do have I did have 10 hours in it though.
It's real weird. There are more hours in Elder Scrolls Blade than the Switch has actually been available to the public. How did you do this?
Hacks.
Somebody's hacking.
Can't sell my secrets. And then Pokemon Sword, Animal Crossing, and of course that. Yeah. So
cool.
That's what I've been playing. That's just in the last week. I'm all over the place.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Any highlights? Any fun adventures in the past week with any of the games you mentioned?
Well, there was this person on the old Twitch named Sen who gave me all of the bells and a gas range for my kitchen, which was fucking sweet. So you should see my setup. I could cook a fine feast.
Nice. That was the goal I was hoping to accomplish.
Oh, you did.
I know when you're sitting there, you're like, man, I just want one.
Because there's no food in Moose Land. He needs food.
Nobody's
it's so funny that his
you.
name is Moose, though, because I live in New
I've been to your island.
You've been to my island?
No, not your island.
He's
his
mine.
island.
Oh.
He's my island.
Okay.
Technical difficulties erased my island from the space-time continuum, so I'm just afraid to go back at this point.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a pretty sweet island. I mean, it's trash that they don't let you back up your file. But I understand. I mean, they're all like, well, because if you did that, you could just drop bells for somebody and just re-download your save, and it's it's kind of ridiculous. So
yeah, I've been thinking about restarting though.
So have I. But because like
y'all should be friends.
I fast tracked.
Almost like we are.
I fast tracked on a lot of stuff. Like I did some time hopping before I probably should have. Not like to the point where it's like, you're not a true Animal Crossing player. It was just see what's going on. First Animal Crossing game, and listen to like some people saying like, no, sometimes you have to do it because like if you work night shift, you never get any of the stuff during the day. So you're allowed to change the clock to play during the day to get the day stuff. And it's like, okay, that's pretty cool. It's an example.
I did though.
It's an example.
But
wait, what are you trying to say over here, Jay?
But you don't work night shift.
I did though.
It was an example. I was just saying.
A bad example.
Oh boy.
I said if somebody, didn't I say if somebody works night shift?
I totally understand.
But anyway,
all right. So, I hear Animal Crossing and I kind of glaze over.
He glosses over. He just
eyes just going back at random times.
Like I don't. I can hear his eyes rolling from here.
That's my mom, because I can hear him knocking.
Yeah. So, and then I did like a bunch of stuff, like just kind of skip things forward. And when I was time hopping one time, Isabel just like showed up on my island, and I'm like, well, I kind of missed that organically. What? Yeah, she was just there, and I'm just like, well,
you know what the problem I've had?
Uh-oh.
So, I would buy, no, let me tell you, because I don't understand.
Yes.
I would buy my turnips on a Sunday morning, okay? Then I would march over to my property, dig up some little holes, and put my bells in, leave them, wait for a good price of turnips. Then, you get to Saturday, and you're like, well, fuck, I haven't sold them. I'm going to lose money tomorrow, so I'm going to sell them. Go to dig up those little fuckers, and they're rotten.
You don't bury them. You just throw them in your house. I just throw them on the floor of my house.
I read that you're not supposed to go rotten when you bury them. It's a storage technique.
Oh.
No, that's not true at all.
Well.
Obviously, she's not rotten turnips.
As someone who, this is my first Animal Crossing, I did that research. I'm like, what happens when when turnips go bad? Like, can you save your turnips? And it's like,
no. There's nothing you can do.
Every Sunday, it is the inescapable grasp of death for those turnips.
Well,
hours trying to time travel, trying to save them, but
the thing is, I know you're on Discord because you have one. You got to get in one of the community friendly Discords and just there's one that we're in and people are just like, okay, my bells are selling for like 400 today, and you just get in the queue. You get in the queue, and then they send you a code. You hop to their island, you sell your stuff, and you're done. Yeah, like I'll send you a link to the Discord.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still even though my save got corrupted and I'm no longer playing Animal Crossing, I'm still in that community because they're actually wonderful.
But they also do other things. So it's not only like, hey, get me turnips and I'm done. Like you could talk to people and be like, oh, hey, so and so is crafting something in my house. Who wants to stop by? And you just like leave your gates open and people can come visit.
It's like if someone's selling art or
right, or they could be like, I'm trying to collect stuff for the museum. Here's the items I have to trade, and they post a long list, and you're like, I need this, this, and this, and you need this, this, and this, and I have it. Like, let's trade, and it's like DIYs, and then the cataloging. Like
is
people.
It cheating?
No,
I don't think it's cheating because
it was if it was the way I see it. If it was in Animal Crossing New Leaf, which I think most of this stuff. Actually, everything except the crafting was in New Leaf. Fair game, as far as as far as like the community is concerned.
Yeah, so like I wasn't aware that. So I thought that by traveling to like different islands in the world, I would eventually meet these new trees, like the cherry trees, like the orange trees.
You should.
No, you can only meet one. There's like each fruit has like a designated sister fruit.
Okay.
So if you mine was peaches and I got oranges very rarely when I traveled to the Nook Islands.
Oh,
everything else
I didn't know that.
Everything else I got from people.
Yeah, so that's what I was told. So I encountered apples and peaches. but I couldn't get anything else. So my friend, who was like much further in the game than me, had me over to his island, and then he gave me cherries and oranges and pears and like. Oh, I also had coconuts.
Yeah.
I also had coconuts.
Yeah, coconuts are pretty easy to get.
They're pretty, yeah.
They're right on the island, so it's like 3 fruits you can get off the bat.
Yeah, the babies are pretty easy to get to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Jay, we're totally boring you.
He's all right.
Huh?
He doesn't care. He's doing shots of Applejack, whatever. his times
he's
have
doing
been
shots
increasing
of
as we talking more about Animal Crossing.
You guys get to the place.
I'm gonna drink till Animal Crossing is interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, you only need one more shot, honey. Then it's really interesting.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
So you guys get to the place where the pop star came? KK, whatever.
Yeah, KK Slider.
Oh yeah, KK Slider.
Tell me he's not the most annoying thing in the world.
What?
Well, okay, so he's only been on my island once, which I think was Saturday or Sunday.
Damn.
Oh man.
Okay.
Whoa.
I'm like the Grinch. I'm like, get off my island.
Continue.
She's the type that psychologically bullies her villagers to go to like leave her island.
Oh, I do.
Where
I'm like,
damn, that's cold.
Oh.
Like I know people that do that, and I'm like, man, that's cold. Like so one of my villagers asked to leave recently, and I think I've just adopted the. You want to go on. Someone else will come and hang out.
oh no, I made those bitches stay.
So make those bitches
like,
stay.
you're not leaving my island.
And then I put a fence around them, and they go nowhere.
Wait, does that work?
I think so. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Go on.
Oh, I'm totally gonna try this.
You had my curiosity.
Nikita, please do me a favor.
There's also like you can
please do me a favor. Just start playing The Sims. I want to watch you murder some fucking Sims.
Like you can psychologically bully the villagers by like going into their house and not saying anything to them and just turning around and walking out, and they do the little exclamation point. So it like they're like puzzled as to what you're doing, and so
one day I beat Dobby. He got really mad at me.
You beat him? Like when you hit him with the net?
I didn't get hit no with my net.
Wow.
So funny. He was so pissed off at me. But the funny part is I wasn't trying, and I was trying to talk to him, but I was only trying to talk to him.
So you had the net in your hand and hit your net. Yeah.
Hang on, I have to write down a new hypothesis. Lawyers are assholes in Animal Crossing.
No, you could just
For
stop.
the one thing we get to manipulate in our day, okay?
I mean, that's true. That's true.
But it's so funny. Yeah. But yeah, so my policy is, like, I had Stinky come to my island. You guys know who Stinky is? This little cat.
No, but I wish I did.
Guy.
It's a what? A cat?
He's a cat. And he's, like, just really obsessed with the gym. So every time I talk to him, he's like, "You working out, bro?" And I'm like, "No."
Oh yeah.
Get off my island.
He's a jock type, yeah.
Yeah, no, not about that life.
Yeah.
I like the cutesy little ones.
My first villager, well, my first two, I don't remember I think it was Mira and Hammy, and Hammy was a jock type, but he was adorable about it. Hammy was all right. Like when he asked to leave, and I asked yeah, he was great. I accidentally said yes, he could leave, and I broke my own heart. I was sad about it.
Yeah, like I think like that. Like I had the same experience. I had Drift, who's a frog. He's sportsy, and I had Charlize, who's a bear. She's still around, which is cool. We cool, but like Drift asked to leave, and I was like, man, now I know how Matt feels. Like when his boy, like they were my two first starting Islanders, and I'm like, you know what, man, you want to go chase your dreams, you chase your dreams. Have fun on that
my
island.
First island, and I was like, get off my island! I don't want you.
I don't want you. I don't want to know who you are.
Do not pass go. Do not collect 200 GTFO. Thanks for coming by. Get the fudge out.
Mic drop.
Right.
Yes, so that's how I feel about him.
All right, new rule on Story Route Zero. If you talk about Animal Crossing, Knack has to be here. It's not here, can't talk about it. That's it.
No.
I guess I'm gonna have to be
You're
around
one
all
of
the time.
three. We out rule you. So no.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
you know what? I think we have to make him play just to understand.
He did. He tried New Leaf. He tried New Leaf.
He tried.
He muted him. Oh, Jason, come on! Don't be.
The only problem is we can't get him to try it because he doesn't want to buy it, and neither Matt nor I have physical editions to like
I know,
lend
I
it
have
to.
the electronic one too. God damn.
I played New Leaf. I didn't like it. I understand why people like it. That's fine.
I didn't love New Leaf as much as I love this one.
See?
All
right,
I'll tell you what. I'll play it when I get through my backlog.
Okay.
Promise.
That'll be a never.
That is never. We know that's never. So.
Well, then I won't break my promise.
Anyways.
Jeez. Okay.
I'm
just gonna ask. Tell me about Blades because I'm really curious.
Okay, so Blades, it starts off with you learning how to hit a sword, and all it is, it's alternating like your right trigger and your left trigger. Okay, so that you start off, you're like, oh, this is a little weird. So you're holding your sword to go this way and then that way. So that's taking up stamina each time. So then you open up into this village, and you learn that it's like a rundown village, and your mission is to like find out what happened to the village and help them rebuild it while fighting off the enemies that are taking over.
Okay.
So it's pretty neat. It's very different in like, it's not open world. So your quests are very limited. Every quest, like there's only a different variation of a few maps, so there's not a whole lot of content. But you progress very quickly. So what I found is that there weren't enough lower level quests to get me the gear I need for the higher level quests. So now I'm limited in how much I can play a day because I'm waiting on these like the daily quests in order to level up.
Okay.
So it was poorly done that way. So that's why I've stopped playing as much as I was because I'm under leveled and I'm dying when I go to these other quests. It was really fun. I like it. It was fun for a while. I hope they put more content out and like it's a lot of bugs in it, but again, it's Elder Scrolls with you.
I mean, yeah, Bethesda likes bugs.
They like the buggies. Boogie woogie.
All right. Thank you for answering that. Who wants to go next?
Jason?
Sure. I played a lot this week, actually.
Moose, when he's done, bring up Animal Crossing again.
Okay.
I deleted Animal Crossing off my 3DS.
Burn.
No. More Warcraft as usual. More of Game Club, but we don't talk about Game Club. 2 betas actually this weekend. Fall Guys, which is so much fun.
That looks so good.
And
it's the PS Plus game for next month.
Yes. It was announced that it's free next month for PS Plus subscribers. Yes. No, it's an absolute blast. It is. I think you'd love it on stream.
Tell me more about it though. Like, is it multiplayer? Like, how does it work?
So you can invite friends. I don't know what the party limit is, but each match it starts with 60 people, and then after the first race, you're down to 45, then 30, then 15.
Wait, it's a race?
It's a battle royale, actually.
So it's a battle royale / race. It's like, do you remember that show MXC on Spike?
Oh yes.
It's kind of like that. So it's like that. So the first 30 across the finish line advance to the next round. Then it's a new type of race. It's like an obstacle course. Or there's one race where you're on these rotating platforms, and you have to, if you get knocked off, you're eliminated.
Oh, shite.
Yeah.
The characters remind me a lot of Humans Fall Flat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like just very droopy, like. Eee.
Or they're like one of those clown things that bobbles back and forth, but with legs. Yeah, what you're doing.
And as you play, you level up, but you just unlock aesthetics. Nothing like new outfits. So like my guy had a wolf head with basketball shoes on.
Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think you had one. Was it French fries and a soda can?
French fries top and a soda can bottom.
Hilarious.
Weirdest mullet.
But
ever.
it's such a blast to play, and it's one of those games you could just pick up, play a couple races, and
put down again.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. You gotta have those games like the quick match ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Devolver does it. They know what to do.
Yeah.
What was your second beta?
From Devolver as well, Blightbound. It is a.
That game looks so good.
Yeah, it's so it's side scroller in a sense. It's like you can move up and down though, so it's not completely side scroll, but it's multiplayer only, and you're one of 3 heroes. You join the match, and it's random which hero you get, and then 2 other people join you. And they have there's a rogue, there's a warrior, and there's a caster. And you just go on missions.
It up.
I like that.
And then, if you beat the mission, you come back with loot, which you can then upgrade for future missions with other heroes. And you have to kind of gear all your characters because it's random who you'll be.
I like that.
Yeah, that's nice.
Overwatch has that mystery hero mission. It's kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty fun.
As far as real games, more Neon Abyss. Games that are actually released in full retail.
Were you in Imagination Land for the last 2 games?
It's always in Imagination Land.
Always in Imagination Land. It helps me cope. It's cheaper than liquor.
Well.
More Neon Abyss.
The way you're pounding that whiskey, I can see why you think that way.
More Neon Abyss. I beat the 4th manager, so I have 1 left.
Gee, get him.
There's just so much replayability with that.
Mm-hmm.
Today I had a gear set up where I could fly, but I had only 1 heart the whole time. So it basically was, you can't get hit, but you can fly the whole time.
Nice. So you got your pluses and your minuses, man.
Trade-offs.
And you're playing this on Switch?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
Okay. Are you guys mostly console players or PC? Or?
I'm all 3. Okay. Console, Switch, and PS4. That's 3. I realized
console,
what I said.
Switch, and PS4.
I love how she's like, mostly console gamers. I'm all 3. I'm like, okay. I'm like.
So console games yourself?
Question.
Okay. Answer.
Jason, do you download your RAM?
I got Animal Crossing took too long, so everything got now it's crap. What am I talking about?
All I see is Tom Nook. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, that'll get you.
No, I play on both.
Isabel's telling me what she watched on TV. I can't watch it off.
He's consoles and PCs. Matt and I are mainly
PS4 and Switch.
Okay.
Yeah, PS4 and Switch.
I'm trying to scratch together some money to get a PC, but my wife and I are trying to adopt, and we got a metaphorical kick in the nuts recently that the goalposts were kind of moved on us a bit. So my fun is kind of scuppered for now. But
hey man, there's endless fun on the Switch and PS4.
Oh yeah, no, I've got games to play. I'm not starved for that. I mean,
yeah,
between that and my vinyl habit, I'll be fine.
I was admiring that earlier, actually. It's quite the collection.
Speaking of PC games, for some reason I decided to play Dead Cells on PC this time.
Attaboy.
So fun.
I got to
terrible
3 stems, and I managed to flawless the Hand of the King. I'm like,
there you go,
that's
Jay.
the trophy I need on PS4. Why would I get it on this?
There you go, Jay.
Because the world is going like this to you.
And
welcome to 2020.
Yeah. What was cool was I did it with the Half-Life crowbar and Gordon's suit.
Nice. Very nice.
Because I don't know if that's I don't have it in the console version.
No, it's not. It's only PC, I think.
That won't be in the console version.
Also, what did I play? I played a Game Pass game.
What one?
Uh-oh.
Moose,
Rebel.
Moose, breathe. Moose,
That's all right.
breathe.
I'm just
Relax.
Steam coming.
I'm like subscribed with Game Pass for like 2 years at 18 cents a month. Calm down. I got there was some ridiculous deal if you locked it. Anyway, Moose, remember that game I told you about last week, Descenders? It was that mountain bike game.
Yeah.
So the first line of the description says a roguelike. And I'm like, you have my attention, but it's a mountain bike game. I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
So you said roguelike, so that means I have to buy this game.
No. No. Mm-mm.
The bad?
Stop me.
Bad. It's bad. It's anyone who's a legit roguelike, run-like, roguelite, different spelling, should sue this company for using that in the sentence. You run the courses, but you have like a health meter, and then when you die, you start over, and the course is just randomized. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
Well, okay. Well, hang on.
No,
No. I see. So we're talking roguelike. So when you die, when you crash, that's the end. Like that's your life.
So you have like 3 or 4 crashes per run.
So
and
all right.
you kind of progress like Slay the Spire, where it's a map.
Okay.
You finish, you go to the next race. But if you die, you go back to the beginning. And you do unlock stuff as you go. So I guess technically it's the same formula.
Okay.
But it's just the execution's not it's just not there.
Huh.
Now,
the concept's cool, but the biking part is not great.
Okay. Like not responsive, just sluggish.
It's not responsive, and
about?
you start like picking up speed, like you're in Need for Speed, and on a bike that doesn't work well. It's way too hard to control.
Have you ever played Burnout on a motorcycle? It's basically like that.
It's interesting, but it's nothing. I don't think I'd go back to it.
Like it maybe just not ready for prime time.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the Switch, I played Panzer Paladin.
What is this game?
So, it's like a Mega Man type platformer.
Oh, all right. You have.
So
my
you're in a Paladin, which is a giant mech.
Yeah.
Oh, you have my attention, sir.
As you progress, through the level, different weapons drop, and you pick them up, and you can throw them. You can just beat enemies over the head with them, or
Mother Russia Bleeds. We played that already.
or what's cool is each different weapon has a power up. You basically break the weapon to get said power up. Like one can give you a heal, one can increase your defense, one can increase.
Okay.
But then you're just left with your fist. But you're in a mech, so punching with the mech.
It's not bad.
That's all I need.
it's kind of like Bloodborne going from like a Kirk Hammer or a Hunter's Axe to like
the Beast Claw.
Yeah, or the Beast Claw. You're just up close and personal.
You'll get to sections where you leave the mech, or actually, if you die too, you're back to the pilot, and you got a Belmont style mace. You just kind of whip it out there.
Yeah, which is cool.
But there's sections like you
just whip it out there.
Yep, you just whip it out there. I'm sticking. Yep, that's what she said. You can leave the mech and then recall it like later in the stage at certain points. It's enjoyable. It's fun. I think it's a short game from what I could tell. It's like Mega Man. You pick a boss, go through the level.
Yeah, you can pick a world. Like you can go to different worlds.
Really? So it's not like a linear progression.
No, you can randomly pick like wherever you want to go.
That's interesting.
And then in that final world, you basically play all the bosses again?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, Moose put this on my radar 2 years ago, and I actually demoed it at PAX East.
Oh, that's sick.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah. It's by Tribute Games, who did Mercenary Kings, which is on PS4, and then they did...
I did not know about this before.
They did Smaller game, something in Chaos. I'd have to look it up. And then most recently, Flint Hook, which I highly recommend playing.
Flint Hook's great.
Flint Hook is a great game, especially with the puzzles.
You want to talk about a good ass roguelike? Let's talk about Flint Hook.
Yeah. Well, if you like them, you'll like Panzer. Like I played it like Jason did. I downloaded it. Thursday it came out, I think. So yeah, downloaded and played it. It's a great game. It's a lot of fun.
I also played Res Please. I think I mentioned this to both of you guys.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it in our Facebook chat.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you play as two brothers who are necromancers. And it's basically a puzzle game.
Yeah.
You kind of go through caves or dungeons. If someone dies, you can res them. But you're supposed to die, in a sense, to complete puzzles. Like jump into the lava. Jump into the lava. Your brother then uses your body to jump there to make the ledge. Then you res them.
Or spikes. Like you throw the brother down on spikes, you jump on their back and jump.
You first, brother.
Well, and it's.
Let me guess. These brothers are named Cain and Abel, aren't they?
But it's a puzzle game essentially. I mean, there's some it's a platformer, but you have to like one hits like a switch, and then you switch back to get them to move to a different spot, and you kind of have to use like all combinations of this.
I'm a huge fan of puzzle games.
Sounds like a more strategy-based version of The Missing from a couple years ago.
What was that? It had a longer title, right?
The Missing, J.J. McElfield, and the Island of Dreams.
Yeah,
maybe
dying in that game kind of.
Like there were puzzles. Yeah, there were puzzles where you had to hurt yourself.
Yes.
And eventually, like it turns into a game being about like body dysmorphia.
Oh my god, that's dark.
It's directed, or it was made by the guy who did the Deadly Premonition games, and swear he's awesome. So that's why I played it.
But yeah, no, it's a fun puzzle game. It's got high replayability because when you finish the chapter, it gives you a score based on time, deaths. So it's kind of go back and see if you can get like a higher score. So
they should rank this like by skulls, like in the old Halo games. You got 3 skulls. Res, please. But you sound like Mona Lisa from Parks and Rec. Res, please.
That's a good impression.
But last but not least, and probably my favorite game of the week, Round Guard. This is
okay.
All right.
What is this?
So think Peggle, but hold on.
Love me some Peggle.
RPG elements.
You have my attention.
Yes.
And kind of I mentioned it before, but like a Slay the Spire progression system.
Ooh.
So
I like that.
You pick one of 3.
I'm not sure what sensation I'm feeling, but it's doing something.
I feel movement.
Hey, honey.
So when you start, you pick one of 3 characters: a knight, a rogue, and a caster. Like Peggle, you have to shoot them you have to take out the enemies. But you get you get up to 2 special skills. So you get like the knight starts with a spin attack.
The Binding of Isaac. Seriously, you get those power-ups.
Yeah, I mean, you get power-ups. They change as you play. But you have to aim for the enemies. And on the bottom, there's this cushion that
sounds like some Sonic Spinball ass shit.
It's got a lot of shit everywhere.
Yeah, just shit all over the place.
There's shit happening in this game, y'all.
But there's treasure chests along the way in the level, which unlocks like gear for you, like a new weapon, new armor, and they all have like a modification. Like every turn starts, you'll cause a bleed to the enemies, because you don't just one shot the enemies. It's
Right.
like Peggle, like the different color blocks. So as you go, you upgrade your character, but you have a health meter too. This is not like where you have lives, like, and your health goes up as you level up because there's like an experience meter.
A real-time game, or is it like turn-based?
It's turn-based in the sense like after you die, you reload and get to shoot again.
Okay.
And then at the end of each progression map, there's a boss.
Nice.
So you have to have enough health. Your health doesn't regen, so you have to have enough health to beat the boss.
Like Slay the Spire.
If you die, you start at the beginning.
Well, shite. That sounds deadly, though.
It's a lot of fun. I would highly recommend.
Round Guard?
Yep,
Yeah.
look it up. Look that
I'm
shit up.
opening these games.
System?
I played it on Switch. I think it's
It's on Steam as well.
Okay.
Nice.
And it's got that, I mean, it's like, I guess it's dad joke humor, but it's there.
Oh, that's my kind of humor.
That means I got to start taking notes. Great.
Like there's a bonus game when you finish a couple rounds, you have to spin a wheel, and like the knight goes, "Oh, I spun the wheel by accident," and he's holding up his axe.
Oh God.
But don't worry, there's
God.
but there's another character who calls him out on his shit. He's like, really?
Annoyed with them.
So there's a counter. There's a character who's annoyed by the dad joke.
I love that.
That's awesome. Okay, now you know what? I might be in.
It's currently 25% off on Steam.
You
Yeah, I
might
think it's
not
only-
be in. We know you're in.
I think it's only 12 on Switch.
Oh, there you go.
Oh God. So much
It's
to
a
consider.
lot of fun.
So much to consider.
All
Yeah,
the
it
games.
combines a lot of great games.
That's cool.
Peggle, Binding of Isaac, Slay the Spire.
all games that everyone on this panel seems to have liked at some level. So, anything else?
No.
I like how you
Still no.
Do you know? You're so cute. I'm just a word vomiter.
Moose,
Yeah.
what you been
So-
playing?
He had a great weekend.
I did have. It was 2 thumbs up.
Two
I
thumbs up,
worked-
and you said it was nothing but games.
Well, I mean, I worked 4 hours Saturday, but that was gaming, some of it.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Been playing Panzer Paladin. Jason discussed it. Been watching that for a while, and I was like, man, I gotta get this game because I love Tribute. They got some good stuff. So downloaded it, played that a bunch on Thursday. That's a lot of fun. And then I also bought a little known game called Carrion, which is a reverse horror game. It's on
Spell that.
Carrion.
Oh.
It's by Devolver. Not by Devolver. They published it. Our boys, our favorite boys over there at Devolver. It's on Steam,
PS4, Switch,
and Xbox.
and Xbox.
If you have Game Pass on Xbox, it is with the Game Pass.
Oh, nice.
But it's a reverse horror game. So you basically play the biomutant organism in a science facility.
Yeah, you play
and you
John
break
Carpenter's
out.
thing.
You're the thing. Yeah.
Oh God, it's so good. You're just running along and you'll sneak up on someone and they're behind a door, so you'll use the right stick and grab the door with the trigger and then pull the door out, but then immediately fling it at them and they're like, ah, and then you pick them up. And immediately, as soon as you pick them up, a big giant mouth with teeth opens up on your blob, and you just release the right stick, and the arm flings them back at you, and you're like, oh, you just keep moving.
What in the world?
It is.
That was the best description. Devolver, if you're listening, there's your hype man.
My God,
Yeah.
it is so much fun. You're just moving around, and it's
And Devolver, since you're listening, Moose has been a low-key hype man for you for years. I'm just saying.
long time. It is, and moving is so fluid because you'll cling to ceilings so you can move up around platforms, So there's like your precision is more so in like grabbing the enemies and like pulling them towards you to eat, or like finding out the doors. And it's like a Metroidvania because you have to figure out where to go, and you'll have nestings, is what they call it. So like you power up, I guess, the facility in your favor. So you just go and then like it saves, and then it's kind of like the saves in Symphony of the Night, but like you're like turning the organisms in the facility against the scientists. But then they also have harder stuff to deal with. So they have like, first they have pistols, then they have machine guns. And now I'm taking on guys that have like energy shields, which you have to like outsmart. And then there's like mechs with turrets, or maybe just turrets later on. I was watching the trailer or something like that. I haven't gotten that far, but
yeah, Buddy was streaming. He infested a mech, took the turrets, and just mowed down like 30 scientists.
Jeez.
It's so colorful.
But it's also Moose and it's a strategy game. It's not just a simple plow through everything. You can't just, because there's enemies that will one-shot you.
Yeah. And so it's also and there's also like you have 3 forms. So as you get bigger, you get different capabilities. So like I believe the second form, or maybe I hit the first one, you have like a web. You can shoot like a web. So like you have to go up. You have to go up to these doorways that they're like grates,
Spider-Amoeba.
And you have to shoot the web through the grate to hit the switch, to open the switch, to open a door for you to go back down through. The only disadvantage to it is there's no map, which I can kind of understand. So you got to kind of keep track of things as you're moving through it. But it is a lot of fun.
Just watch your carnage. Oh, there's dead bodies here. I was already in this spot.
Yeah. I mean, that's true too.
Now, a couple questions. The entity that you're playing as, is it like Meat Boy where it leaves a residue, or
yeah, like you there's blood places. Like if you just sit there,
but like do you have to kill things to leave a track? That's what I'm asking.
No, you leave a track.
You leave it. Okay.
Yeah, so like you'll just be moving, and like if you just stop moving for a second, like you're like the organism like twitches. There's like blood on the ground in sections, you know, just because like the tentacles are out like doing their own thing, and then like you're just like, all right, let's go, and you just take off. And yeah, it's freaking awesome. It's a great game. So Panzer Paladin, Carrion, more Division 2. And
wait,
then,
what?
Yeah, and then, we're not gonna talk about that. And then Dark Souls 3 PvP, which has been a lot of fun. And then the game club game. So that's about it. So
what's the game club game?
Our game club game for this month is Ghosts.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
I've been watching some gameplay. That is a beautiful game.
Yes.
But you're not gonna talk about it.
No, it's okay.
First rule of game club.
First rule of game club. We don't talk about game club.
What happens in game club stays in game club.
We try to keep it that way.
Well, it does until we record that episode, and then this is all out.
And then someone
we may need a lawyer, so we'll call
the volume. So it works out. But then in Animal Crossing, so I've been talking about Animal Crossing and like how I'm like working towards things in it. I had to finish with Animal Crossing. I had to bring Jason back. I had to bring him back. So I like, it was really weird. I logged in after like I think the last time I played was when I dropped the gas range for you. And so I was just like, man, it's been a while. So I went in there, I'm doing some stuff.
You were like, it's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. Flora. So I had like, you know, your original 10 villagers you get. She was not the first 2. And I don't think she was like the first 5, because I think you get 2, then you get 3 more, and then you have to fill out like the rest of it. So you got to fill out the other 5. She was in that like second wave of like 3, and she's been really cool. She's like a flamingo. She's been awesome to talk to.
You have a flamingo?
Yeah, well, not anymore. She left. She was like, so she likes pop music and all that stuff, and she's like, I want to go out in the world and experience stuff. I'm like, you know what? You be you, Floor.
Spread your wings and fly, butterfly.
Right, yeah, exactly. Spread your wings and fly. We'll be here. You come back if you want, or send word or whatever. And so I have a house that's like not really, that's like empty, an empty lot.
I would have never let her leave Funky Town. Just saying.
I know, man. I know. Like,
It's the name of your island.
no, like,
that was the name of my island. It was Funky Town.
I did think that for a second. I was like, oh man, I don't want to let her go. But then I'm like, how am I going to experience other villagers if I don't? You know what I mean? So I was like, all right, cool, you can go. And then, so like I went to the little rec center because I was turning in money because freaking you can only carry 99,000 freaking bells at a time, or it puts it in your inventory. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So anyways,
there's a lot of rules Nintendo makes that, inspire questions.
Right. So I went to drop money off and I'm like, I'll just talk to Isabel. And I'm like, hey, what's up? And then I'm like, let me see, like, let's legit figure out what I need to do for my island to get a 3-star island. And she's just reading this, tip off, and it's KK.
Tip.
It's KK. No, it was not a tip, but like a review.
This is when he got his KK
and
sliders.
This is when it was KK sliders notification. I'm like, I'm a 3-star island. I'm like, what? You mean I threw it up? Because I feel like I agree with a lot of people.
Moose looks around, man, this place looks like shit. How am I getting 3 stars?
No, it doesn't. Like, that's the thing. Like, my island doesn't look like shit because, like, people are like, no, just throw stuff around. I'm like, I don't want to just throw stuff around. Like, I got a weight bag, like a punching bag with a fan set up next to it. I got a park bench people could sit at. Like, I was just like, I'm going to put stuff around, but it has to, like, fit with how I want my island to look, not just like, let me just throw stuff on the ground so I can get a +3 for this bitch ass punk to come play a concert at my island.
It was so annoying.
Because like, and
that's your problem. Calling KK a bitch ass punk is probably preventing an appearance.
Like the other thing is like,
that's right. Jump right in, Jason. Just
it doesn't
lean
matter.
into this. It's fine.
Like their whole system is just throw stuff on the island. It's not like the rating system's not based on how your island looks or like aesthetics. But then again, it's like it's a Nintendo product. How are they gonna rate that?
There's like a few things I wish I would modify about that game. Like one of my pet peeves is having to move stuff from my house inventory into my personal inventory into craft. Like that should all be linked to one. It
should just be in your craft table. When you go to your craft table, you can just make stuff.
So I don't have to. That fraughts me to no end.
Yes.
And the expanded pockets would be quite nice.
Why do we have only 40 pockets, or whatever?
Yeah, like I need at least 12 more.
I think there was the idea, like I think in New Leaf it was the idea of not breaking the economy. Like, I mean, I think in a lot of ways with this game specifically, they probably had to have an inclination that the turnip market was going to be completely gamified by people. So, so just like why? Because I mean, really, why stop at 10 million bells for turnips when you can get 100 million or a trillion?
Yeah, I guess.
Well,
some kind of control over it.
But still, I just, anyways. So then, like you were saying, Matt, this Tom Nook motherfucker reaches into his pocket and pulls out his phone. It's like, oh, KK Slider.
Look at this. Hey, KK.
So like, my whole thing
review.
Is like,
you want to come to a concert? He'll be here on Saturday.
It could have been written in a way where it was like, hey man, like Tom Nook could have just been like, to you the character, been like, hey, I know KK Slider, I know everybody likes music, we can get them here, but the island, let's make the island presentable. Let's, like we really want to show off the island, get it a 3-star rating, instead of telling you we have to get a 3-star rating for KK Slider to come here, and then when you do that, the motherfucker just reaches in his pocket and calls.
Hold on. Video game logic aside, you're time traveling to sell turnips, and this is your issue?
I'm not. I don't time travel to sell turnips.
You can't time travel to sell turnips.
You can't. You can only go. You can't.
You can't go past
time traveling, and this is the issue.
Yes.
Listen, Jason. Listen.
I actually have a fun animal.
Jason was there during an epic rant.
What was that? I feel like your opinion does not.
I play an Animal Crossing game every Sunday. I go on my Switch friends list and I look at the hours people put into Animal Crossing. So it's like, ooh, 60 hours. You're an amateur. Ooh, 100. Ooh. There's like 250. It's like, whoa. And then it's like, I have one friend, 600. I'm like, okay, then we're done.
You have no life.
I think you said mine was at like just between. I think
You were at 180 last I looked.
Yeah.
Jeff's at 220, I think.
Yeah.
I think I gotta be under 200 then, because I know Jeff's been playing more than me.
Under 200, I think.
Anyways, like my whole like
145.
Jason was there on my epic rant for Ghost in a little plot hole. But anyways, so
Oh my god, that was I wish I was recording in PlayStation chat. Oh my god, that was amazing.
There were some beers involved. It was just
wait, what did I miss?
Anyways.
We were in a party chat and we were playing game club game, and Moose didn't like one thing, but it snowballed into not liking about 12 things about the game.
Dude, it rubbed me the wrong way.
There were way more curse words than actual words in the sentence. He just kept going, and it's like everyone just got quiet. And
you just had to follow the pattern of the cursors to figure out which ones were punctuation and which ones were actual words.
Right. And then Justin's like, man, are you okay? He's like, you're extra salty today. And I'm like, leave me alone. But anyway.
Poor Justin.
So had KK Slider come, and now my whole thing is like, I've got the terraforming app, and I'm like, what am I going to do? I never worked on my garden, you know, like the credits rolled. And it's like, okay, so what can I...
It's over.
Yeah, it's like, it's done. Like, I guess I can...
They're going to come in with like an expansion?
Maybe, but I mean, they dropped like they're dropping the summer release soon, you know, and they'll do like a fall update. So there'll be new creatures to swim for in the ocean or fish and bugs to catch. And like, that's my other thing. Like, I never fished at night, never caught bugs at night. Like, I would only play during the day on my lunch break to do like turnips and stuff like that and get things done. And then like when I got home, I'm sitting in front of my PS4. I'm playing, you know, whatever. Well, Division 2, not whatever. So,
it's whatever at this point.
It kind of is whatever. But so yeah, it's been that. But it was more Ghost than anything else this weekend, and that's the only thing I want to say about that. So it is doing really well, in my opinion.
Moose's PlayStation email at the end of the year: top games. Number 1, The Division. 2. Did you play anything else?
You know what number 2 is going to be. We already know what number 2 is going to be. It's going to be Dark Souls 3 because I'm playing a lot of PvP.
It's going to be Dark Souls 3, yeah.
It's going to be Dark Souls 3. It's going to be Division 2. It's going to be okay, so here's in my defense, not maybe
you don't need to defend this. You don't need to play what you want. Play what you want.
Last week, so in Division 2, there are seasons. And they just launched the last season, and it's like 100 levels. And you basically just progress through the levels and you get gear as you do the levels. And then they also dropped a new manhunt, which is technically a 5-person manhunt each, like every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, man, I think. 2 weeks. They release a new person, and you have to do certain things in the game to unlock the bounty hunt for them. And then you go after them and kill them. And it like progresses you towards the final person for the season. So it's not just, also I have a buddy of mine who picked it up, and he's way more obsessed than I am with it. Yeah. Jason. Marco is fucking obsessed with Division 2, which is not a problem. Hey, he bought the game and he's fucking loving it, and I'm like, I'm happy you're loving it. And we play, and now so they have like 2 stages of the game. They have level 1 through 30, and then they have 31 to 40. And so now he finally bought the DLC, and he's now 40.
Finally did. Oh, good.
Yeah, and so now we can, so I had 2 characters. I was running on 2 characters. I was running on a level 30 character with him, and a level 40 character with myself. And so he thought his first exotic he got in that weekly Shade Tech thing project you turn him at was a Pestilence. Yeah. But he already has 2. He already has 2 of them. I gave him I think a 40 and a 30. Or no. He took that 31 and kept it on his low level character. But anyways, it's fun. I like it because it's like shooting. You know, you're hanging out with your friends, having fun. You know, like usually him and I are like the only people on at a certain time, so we'll jump on that and play that, and other people join the party, and you know, whatever, we do whatever. But yeah, it's a good time. I mean, also if you like, a lot of people got it for $3 when it was on sale for $3.
It was on sale for $3.
For $3 in March. No.
No.
So they were coming.
That
They were
would end
coming
the,
out.
that would
with
end the podcast.
They were coming up with the expansion.
Idiots.
They were coming out with the expansion, and so they were just like, and this was like right around the time COVID hit, and like right before it, and it was just like $3, any platform. You can get it anywhere for $3, and it was like,
if that happens again, let me know.
well, now they do deals where like they also have the DLC with the base game, and sometimes they'll put that on sale for $30, and which is the price of the actual like DLC.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I don't know if they'll ever do the $3 again. I think their problem was they saw a lot of people leaving, and they were like, we need to
get people back here.
We need to get people back, and they weren't going to do PlayStation Plus. So they're like, hey, because I mean, for $3, they'll get $30 out of somebody, because like some people will be like, I'm enjoying this enough, and I like this as a shooter to like buy the DLC. And so, I mean, the other nice thing about the manhunts is you get new abilities. So like now, the shock trap, Matt, the little cube thing you throw, the newest one for this manhunt is it heals you instead of shock traps you. So, but. Anyways,
I was trying to think of a way to incorporate the shocker into something, but that was
that
was a dumb idea. Sorry.
Shocker.
Just the way your mother likes it. Anyways, so that's been about that.
It is $10 for the base game right now on Epic.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
That's not bad at all.
So, speaking of being at the cutting edge, I'm still playing a 5-year-old game called Darkest Dungeon.
Are you actually?
Yeah.
I'm trying to platinum it.
I'm trying to platinum it. Had a few interesting, okay, so I'm at the final set of dungeons, and I want to get a party, and I want to get some trinkets that'll kind of spec me in a better. I want to get some better trinkets so I can spec better for these dungeons, because I know that they're basically going to stress all of my characters out, and I want to make sure I have a good party. Now, I don't know do you know what Darkest Dungeon is, Nikita?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Yeah, no, I do. I used to watch it quite a bit. I never played it though.
It's really fun. It's a lot to undertake at the beginning. It's a lot to undertake at the beginning, but you, like with a lot of really good strategy games, you sort of develop a certain rhythm to it. And I've kind of hit my zone with it, where like now I kind of see how every dungeon's going to play out before I'm like even halfway through. Anyway, so I've been working on that. I've also been working on getting a couple of extra characters in certain classes that I like up to level 6. And when I did that, there's this boss that can show up in any dungeon called the Shambler. And the one time I had fought him prior to this week, I fought him on Vita and wiped him. Well, I killed the boss, the trophy popped, and his little minions killed the rest of my dudes. So I save scummed that on PS4 and kept all of them alive. But I still got the trophy, so I was like, all right, I'll take it. But then I found out that the Shambler drops these ancestral trinkets that I need for another trophy because of course it does, Darkest Dungeon. And as I'm leveling these guys, I'm leveling a crew of 4, and I've gotten really good at like managing their stress, so I can basically run them 3 and 4 times in a row, just get them leveled super fast. But there was I don't remember if this happened on stream or not, but there was a day I got there, and the first encounter in a dungeon was the Shambler. Just showed up. I'm like, fuck, I'm not ready for this. My guys are level 2 at this point, and everything sort of scales. It's not like they're gonna send the final boss of Persona after you went in level 2, because that would be weird and very phallic, actually. But the dice rolls that happened in the game all went my way.
Ooh.
I got out of this fight basically unscathed with like no additional stress. Finished that dungeon. I'm like, all right, feeling good. We're going again. It's like Vegas in here. Same shit happened. Twice in a row. Shambler shows up and is like, hey, I'm back to make your day a living fucking hell. Second time, I won the fight, but he stressed everybody out. So I had to let them rest. Ran a couple of rinky-dink dungeons through the courtyard, got a whole bunch of people inflicted with the Crimson Curse, which is another fucking can of worms. But I'm now at a position where I have enough blood to sort of keep everybody full. Which that's a sentence.
That's what he said.
Yes. So get them rested. Go back in again. Shambler shows up again. And at this point, I'm feeling cocky.
Trying to double tap you, buddy.
I'm like, okay, Shambler, you want to do this? I've sent you packing twice in a row. You want a third? Fine. I got enough room for your dessert. It killed one of my heroes, but I won the fight. So he has not shown up.
Good, right?
I mean, who's greater good? His or mine?
Yours.
I hope.
Your character died for the greater good.
Yeah, but it was one that I was trying to level. So sometimes you just when you get into a boxing match, you're gonna take a punch on the chin. It just happens. Did that, and then I back trying to get another highwayman to level 6, but that's going pretty swimmingly. Shambler hasn't shown up. I need 2 more ancestral token or trinkets. So come on, you had no problem showing up, Shambler. Come on back. We're ready for more. The other thing I've been playing, other than Game Club, which I already have some fucking thoughts about Game Club, is Reba and I played Guacamelee again today.
What's
I saw that.
Guacamelee is a Metroidvania where you play as a luchador. And you basically you melee and have grappling, and there's the fights eventually become kind of puzzly. There's pretty dexterous platforming later in the game. My wife and I started this a while back, and she was like, I don't want to do this. But then we went back, we went back again 2 weeks ago, and she's like, no, I can play this now. So my wife's getting better at video games, y'all. Now, and because of this, Moose wants her to platinum Bloodborne, which she's still considering. Moose.
Yeah.
That is the Moose I'm tempering expectations face.
It'll happen if it happens,
But yeah, so she's really liking that game. We're having a lot of fun playing it, and that's really it for what I've been playing.
Nice.
Now, before we cut out, you guys want to talk about the Xbox thing or no?
Oh, I mean, we can.
I have to get to bed, so it's okay if I peace out.
So, sure. That's totally fine. That's why I asked, because
yeah,
I know that
11 for her.
Yeah, so
11:30. All right, thank you guys.
So before you go, Nikita,
yes,
tell our listeners where we can find you.
Twitch.tv/Nakandrea. Nakandrea.
I'll put it in the episode description.
Thanks, man.
It'll be in the description. We'll give you a shout before we cut out.
I am bad at these things, and I'm on Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff too.
Oh yeah, I'm the worst. Moose is trying to get me better at it, and I just suck.
Get better, dude.
I need to. Well, anyway, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me on. Have so much fun.
And you are more than welcome to come back. So
yes.
Thank you. Have a great one, guys.
You as well.
Bye.
Okay, so Xbox happened.
It did.
And I mean, I'm not going to break down the conference, but like, you guys have any thoughts?
So my only thought was they showed some cool things. What was weird was they did this whole thing about all these demos available, which was cool because I have Game Pass for PC, so sometimes like I downloaded Carry On Game Pass. I was like, well, I'm not buying it yet, so but they didn't promote it other than the showcase. Like you go into Game Pass, and I actually talked to people who have just regular Xbox, and because Game Pass is slightly different on the console, there's no promote. Like you'd have to know what, like if you didn't take notes during that conference, you'd have to like look up like I didn't realize till this morning Skateboard Bird was available as a demo, and I was kind of bummed because that game looked so much fun. I mean, I think it's coming to other consoles, but I was like,
it's coming to Switch. I know that for sure.
I would have loved to play the demo. Like I thought they did a poor job. Like they really, I felt the conference was, here's Game Pass. This is our future. This is what we're doing for the future. This is it. Like, forget the Series X. Game Pass is where it's at, which is awesome. But then you didn't promote it on Game Pass. Like, you could have, like, so you guys aren't familiar with it, but whenever there's a big conference for anything that has PC games, if you open Steam, it'll have a link. Basically, any game that's available, demo or not, just so you can wish list. It has everything condensed, like in an easy to find guide, and like they'll even break that down, games with demos. Like I felt like Xbox could have done something like like I said, you'd have to search for the game you really liked, and I mean, I'm not going to complain that like, oh, there were 70 demos. You couldn't play 70 demos in a weekend, which obviously you couldn't. But it just was
with that
weird.
attitude.
Yeah, with that attitude. But it was just weird. I thought they could have done a better job, since that was the focus. What I felt, they could have promoted it a bit more for like people who didn't have time to watch it and just heard about a few games. Like 70 demos. That's like the Escapist show? There was like 100 something games. Like it would have been helpful if it was like, because like I said, Steam after the Escapist show actually had almost all those listed in one page for you to view. But other than that, I was surprised it was more Game Pass focused and not, because the lead up to it made it sound like the console's gonna blow PS5 away. But it was like, this is like, we even diehard PlayStation fans know Game Pass is a killer deal. Nobody's doubting that. I don't think they needed to sell it more. So it was just odd, but it's the same thing, the back and forth with these two companies. Well, when are we going to get dates or pricing? Like, how literally are we going to get it like a month before?
Yeah.
So that's about it. I mean,
saw a lot of games that just like, okay, I'll buy a PC. So there was a lot of good looking stuff. I was not impressed by Halo. I was like, this gameplay does not look good at all. The graphics did not look good. I know Captain Canada disagreed with me. And so he didn't really disagree with me. He made his statement, and I'm like, I'm not having this conversation. So just let it go.
At that point, most of the internet agreed with you, not him.
Right. Like
I've never seen so much hatred towards Halo like that. Like people were just like, okay, you showed an Xbox One game.
Yeah. Like not only that, but like, okay, more Halo. You're not trying to do anything new with the series. And this is a game that's been in development for a while, you know? So that would be like Santa Monica, like being like, oh, actually we are working on another God of War, and then comes out.
It's gonna look like God of War 1, yeah.
Yeah, like God of War 3 or God of War 2, and you're like, what have you been doing all this time? You know? Like he was saying in our chat, the Gears screenshots look way better and then the Halo stuff, which I mean, good. What is that? The Coalition does skiers,
Yeah.
so good for them. But I just I saw a lot of games that were cool, a lot of again with their fucking messaging, especially in the early show. So the pre-show, I was watching the pre-show, and because this was Thursday, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was watching the pre-show, and they're like, world premiere, and then it shows Dragon Quest 11, the version that came out on Switch, is now coming to Xbox, and it's like, what do you mean world premiere? Like that game's already out on Switch.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's world premiere because it's coming to Xbox, but I get your point. But I don't think that should be the jumping a game coming to another console. I don't think holds as much weight as because everyone kind of assumes most games will.
Right. Now that's phenomenal. That's awesome. It's also coming to PS4, which I figured it was, and I confirmed it today when I was, skimming through the PlayStation blog. But it's like
Exhaustion is catching up to me. What game are you talking about? I apologize.
Dragon Quest 11.
Okay.
Because and I'm not talking just regular Dragon Quest, because it launched on PS4 for like a year. The next year it came out on Switch with the cool feature where you could play in old school, 16-bit graphics, which is cool. The entire game, not just like a gimmick, like here, play like the dungeons in 16-bit. No, the entire fucking thing is in 16 bits, which is cool. So that came out on Switch, and now it's coming to Xbox and PS4. But again, with their messaging, it's like world premiere, and it's like, okay, well, a lot of the stuff I'll be able to play elsewhere, and I get it. It's fine. They are moving more towards, like Jason was saying, Game Pass. They want to be the Netflix of video gaming, which is totally fine. Do your thing. But you also want to sell consoles, but you're not putting anything out there that's going to sell consoles, because you got Halo Infinite coming out, which also has to run on the lowest common denominator, Xbox. It's going to run there. So, all the stuff that Sony's putting out, people want to sit there and say, well, Sony's console isn't as powerful. Well, yeah, but all the new games coming out are going to run, their games coming out are going to run, the new Horizon will only run on PS5.
Yeah.
The new Spider-Man Miles Morales story is going to run only on PS5. So they don't have to worry about watering down graphics or game mechanics or anything. And the Ratchet and Clank moving instantly, loading instantly is going to be freaking balls to the wall, insanely awesome. But you look at Halo and it's like, okay, just another game. And then we're going to hear about Gears. Okay, just another game. There are a bunch of games that they had by Microsoft Studio. To be honest, I can't, was it Grounded? The Honey I Shrunk the Kids game looked pretty cool.
That looks, I mean, honestly, when I heard about that game originally, I was like, what? And then what they showed there, I was halfway sold.
Yeah, and
I don't know if it's buy an Xbox sold, but I was sold on playing that
game. And you also, like I was saying, none of their stuff they showed you can't play on PC, so there's no point to even buy their console. So it's buy a PS4, buy a PC, and you're good to go. Or, I mean a PS5. But anyways, I still want to see how they're going to handle the companies like Obsidian, who did Outer Worlds, who is now doing DLC, which hopefully shows up on PS4. But what are they going to do with those developers later on, when past the second DLC, when they're looking at a new game? Is Microsoft going to be we're going to take the Minecraft approach and everything is just everywhere and we're taking a piece of everybody's lunch? Or are they going to be no, you can only play it on Xbox, and PC, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with titles that have already come out. Or I mean, that have been bought but already came out. Previous iterations came out on multiple consoles.
Well, I think Outer Worlds DLC will come out. They confirmed. Actually, it was confirmed. I thought I read it. I think that was their last. That was part of their contract. They didn't know DLC at the time, or well, they probably knew, but I think that won't be exclusive.
Right.
So I think going forward they will, but I mean, I agree. I'm not a marketer, but as a consumer, I would say I consume a lot of marketing, and I feel sometimes their highlights are not like apart from you two, I have a PC and I have
Yeah.
Game Pass, so I can access some of these games. But like I think it's a big deal when Steam announces Horizon Zero Dawn because that's a PS4 exclusive. It's only been on PS4, but like a game like Dragon Quest, sure, it's got a huge following, but does it really hold? Like I feel it doesn't hold, and like granted it was the pre-show, but
Yeah.
like you put the focus on like these are long shows. Like we all enjoy watching them, but like an hour-long show, even if you're excited about the stuff, it takes a toll when you're watching stuff. See, like I feel like the exclusive, like this is the Xbox show stuff that like people who only own Xbox are going to be interested. Because if people watching it own multiple systems and they realize it's coming, they don't need to see, like, it should be one of those, like, the sizzle reels. Like, oh, we also have Dragon Quest is finally being ported. This is being ported. Check this out. Like, you want to see the games that are, like, exclusive first. I mean, that's how I would feel about Sony. Like, I don't care about, if if obviously if Gears got ported somehow, some crazy world, that's a huge thing.
But yeah, that's a big deal.
I think it's
if it's a smaller game, it's like, all right, keep that kind of like you don't need that as the focus. Like, I think you lose people.
I feel like in talking about Dragon Quest and was it Phantasy Star Online 2 is Xbox exclusive currently. Like it's got to be an interesting conversation with them and the developers and publishers because they probably have to throw way more money at those publishers and developers than they would if they were trying to get like an American developer publisher's game on their console exclusive because nobody owns an Xbox in the Asian countries who play a lot of those RPGs. Like nobody owns them. So like they're locking those Dragon Quest is everywhere now. But like Phantasy Star Online 2, it's like PC. Okay, well, you have it there. The only people that are really going to be playing it are the people that might live in a household that like people who play traditional Japanese RPGs do not buy an Xbox. Yeah. Really, Xbox is really only a Halo and Gear shooter, and then third party. Yeah. Like that's it. Like that's all they play. That's all the people that really the vast majority of people that buy an Xbox play, and then they play the third party stuff till their tent poles come out again. Whereas in Sony is like we've got this. They throw all kinds of different stuff out at you. But anyways, I just they are making. I feel I saw a lot of good stuff that I liked. That doesn't make me want to buy an Xbox, but move faster towards PC. So I liked that. I did like that a lot. Their games look cool, and I think they're getting it. I think Microsoft is getting it now, where it's we can't just people want content. We can't. This is the number one reason why Sony kicked their ass is because people bought an Xbox, but they also bought a PS4 because they wanted the exclusives. So or they bought a PS4 first to play exclusives, and then they bought your console later when you had to discount it because nobody's fucking buying it. So now they're learning their lesson, and they're like, okay, well, we're gonna move in a direction to actually have content out there. You know what I mean? Have content other than our three because of Forza, our 3 tentpole games, and that's what I'm liking to see. That's what I liked coming away from the conference was that they're moving more in a better direction of putting out content, of realizing we can't just rest on Master Chief, fucking Gears and Forza because people want other stuff, So, I mean that's the good thing about what came out of it.
I mean, I when we had our conversation in our Facebook chat, like I know Phillips and I were definitely positive on the show, but I think he and I were positive for very different reasons. Like he was spouting, pro-consumerism, which fine. Like I can, because the crux of his argument is, I don't have to buy their system to play these games. I can be an informed consumer and make a decision that's best for me. And I'm like, so that, I mean, and to me that just seemed that, and I still think this. I said this there, and I'm going to say this again. I think that was just a low bar argument. But because what struck me about it was the one thing I could compare it to. That wasn't Sony, because I compared it to their last conference, and it seemed tonally to tell a very different story about the platform. Because the last thing they did, I think that was their third-party showcase. Like all of those games were gray, and brown, and muted, and dark, except for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Like that was the only game that I remember having any semblance of like vibrant colors. Whereas here, like everything seemed to have some semblance of life. I didn't freak out about Halo because, and this is probably like, I was just looking at the game. I didn't look at what Halo means to Microsoft, because honestly, I think in 2020, I don't think Halo means what Microsoft thinks it means. Like take, for example, like now is where I'll compare it to Sony. Like they led with Miles Morales, which was a recent PlayStation 4 exclusive that was reviewed well and received well by audiences. Halo 5, is that what it was? Halo 5 Guardians, is that what that was? I don't even remember the reception to that game, which leads me to believe it wasn't very good. I might be wrong.
I think it was the worst selling Halo game yet.
And and we could talk about the graphics and what the gameplay looked like. I mean, to me, it looked like a Halo game. It's like, oh, it's more of that, which is it's a Halo-ass Halo game. And the graphics doesn't always do a whole lot for me, because gameplay is going to matter. Now, if there's some new gameplay shit happening, which you didn't really get an indication by that showing, because I think new gameplay you either need to sit down and explain it clearly, or you need to come up with scenarios to show it. Example, the Ratchet and Clank game for the PS4 or for the PS5.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's showing you a new idea for Ratchet and Clank, which is basically doing the whole BioShock Infinite tear thing, but instantly without loading in and out. Whereas this is just like, I'm pretty sure this is Halo, but with just one of the Thundercats just really angry.
And the Ratchet and Clank thing, real quick, was PlayStation did it in such a way that they explained it to the tech people and to the non-tech people.
Yes.
In one description, where for a non-tech person, you're like, oh, that's so cool. It's like instant. But the tech people hear, oh, it's utilizing the SSD to make these instant. So you had two explanations without, like, because a lot of people don't care for, like, the tech stuff. Like, it's not important. But it was, like, a clever way of doing it.
Mm-hmm. And I think, but I still think, like, because I actually watched the pre-show for this. I thought the ID at Xbox stuff was really good. Like, there was a lot of interesting things there. And there was a lot, I mean, throughout the rest of the show, Grounded, Medium, I thought Gunk was fucking interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I played the original Stalker on Xbox because I'm pretty sure it was there. I remember a Stalker game being on Xbox. I remember having that case. I hope I'm not dreaming that up. But like that game coming back in 2020 is really cool to me. I feel like it's nice to have another one of those because Metro has kind of been the one for the past number of years.
Quick aside on Gunk, I didn't realize it at first. It's Image and Form who does SteamWorld.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh wow, that's cool.
I mean, I feel like Rare's like definitely turned some heads with Everwild, and what am I thinking of? Oh, and sure, it's not going to be for a while, but Obsidian's Avowed is basically Skyrim New Vegas, which like I'd be okay with that because anytime Obsidian has taken a shot at a Todd Howard property, they've done really well. And considering that they were the ones, and I say Todd Howard property, I know Obsidian are the ones who created Fallout. Don't at me. But Fallout 3, with Fallout 3, it's pretty much an accepted fact that Fallout was not what Fallout was anymore. And Fallout New Vegas was better than Fallout 3 and a more interesting take on that. I really like this, but I listened to the most recent episode of Gamer Tag Radio, and I agreed with a lot of what they had to say. They're like, their messaging is not clear because this was an advertisement for Game Pass. It didn't really say like, oh, all of this needs to be played on Xbox, like Moose said. There were everything, they came out with No Gamer Left Behind, but two of the more interesting titles did not have Xbox One X logos. So that's kind of like, oh, I mean, now thinking about that, like any one of us is probably saying, okay, these games are going to be out far enough out that they won't be supporting that anymore. But anybody else who's not dialed in, all of a sudden they might be asked out when they want to play Avowed. I think it would have been a smart idea to at least talk more about Lockhart. At least say, hey, this is kind of where we're going here. But at that point, like they're still just saying you can play it on your PC.
But not even that, like to go one beyond that, if I didn't have a PC, so putting that aside, because I already have access to Game Pass, come the fall, these games look cool, and there's like, I don't know, say 10 of them, so I really want to play all 10.
Yeah.
Why don't I just get a $250 Xbox One X, refurbished even? Because obviously they discontinued, I can't get it new. Because if they all play, I'm paying half of what I would for a PC if I didn't have it. Because a PC is not, because I agree with you, Moose, but I think a PC is not cheap. You can get a good one that runs almost all these, but there's cheaper options. Plus there's the whole, how are you comfortable? I have a PC, I can't play shooters on my computer. I like sitting on the couch. I need that. But like, obviously I play WoW for hours on it, but if I'm using a mouse, but that's my personal preference. But I feel like you said, and I think we all agree, they sold Game Pass, but I think it's selling Game Pass in January would have been cool, even in March. But like now we keep pushing towards, like I know we're only halfway through the year, but what exactly is holiday 2020? And this Sony's at fault for this too. We have no idea what holiday 2020 for either of these is. But at least with yes, we know what both look like.
Yeah.
And we know there's two SKUs, but we have you feel like you want to know I mean, the pricing. Yeah, I want to know the pricing. I mean, if I'm gonna buy either, I'm gonna pay. It's not like I'm not saying I have all the money in the world, but I'm not like a 15-year-old. Like I have to save my money. Like
Yeah.
there-
You're not
there's
out there mowing lawns every weekend.
Yeah, like because I'm preparing, but like I feel they sold Game Pass, but I don't think you need to sell Game Pass. I
No.
think any Sony fan can even tell you, except the crazy fanboys, but they never have anything good to bring to the argument.
Right.
All three of us will say Game Pass is a steal.
Mm-hmm.
Most of all the third-party games we love, you can get
Game Pass.
for $5 or whatever the current deal is a month. Are you kidding?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, like, I've had the thought of, like, as you mentioned, buy an Xbox One X specifically so I can play Game Pass games. Like, that's it. I mean, am I going to do that? No, because I'm trying to adopt a child. But also, like, I'm trying to scrap whatever money I can for a PS5. I hope I'm able to do that. Now, the one thing that the one in the most important point I liked about the Gamer Tag Radio episode. I really recommend the listen. It's just over an hour and it's actually pretty good. They mentioned that a lot of people don't hold Sony to the same standard and the same criticism that they're holding Xbox to. The difference is Sony has spent the last 7 years having absolutely nothing to prove. All of their exclusives have been good to great in terms of critics and audiences. Maybe with, Knack being the exception. And an X bot would definitely go, well, I don't want to play Resogun because indie game. But whatever. Microsoft didn't have probably 1/3 of the amount of like high quality exclusives. I mean, and forget that they're exclusive, just good like first party developed games that Sony had. And I think there was a lot of decision making that went into that prior to and at the beginning of this generation. But like that is why look, we got we got a slew of new things in that most recent PS5 conference, but people are more interested in a Horizon 2 than a Halo Infinite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't have the facts, but I'm sure you could look it up, but I would say more Xbox first gamers own a PS4 than PS4 gamers have an Xbox as well.
I would probably take that bet. Like I would agree with you on that. I would actually, yeah.
Like
that would be how I would bet.
Like I know someone who I met recently through our friend Todd Oxtra on the Last of Us spoiler cast. He hosts an Xbox show, but he has a PlayStation and he plays the exclusives.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like, sure, you might be a fan. If you're a shooter fan, you might own. But like, I mean, and put PC aside, forget it. Just console to console. I mean, people aren't. I feel like you hear less people buying. Oh, I bought an Xbox and I just get Gears and just get Halo. Like that just seems. And you're right. Sony has nothing to prove, but I don't think they're coasting in a sense because all their exclusives are good to great. Like, I mean, it's just.
I mean, and I think they're trying like hell not to come off as coasting this time out. I think that's why we don't have a price.
Right.
We don't have a price from Microsoft because Sony hasn't put a price out. I think Microsoft is waiting for Sony to go first, even though they don't have to. At least monetarily, they don't have to. But that doesn't mean Microsoft as a corporate entity is willing to let Xbox bet with house money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could all be wrong in 3 years when all these developers they purchased come out with these phenomenal games.
That's true. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I mean, and then you know what? Fucking Nintendo Switch, way it's selling, it could be the one that wins this generation by the end of it. Who knows? But
it was just a weird showcase in that regard. I think it just
games in the showcase overall good. Messaging,
And now it killed my theory last week. I said, like, depending on Xbox, this is what August, if there's a state of play. Because now it's like Sony doesn't have to do anything because they didn't really do anything at the Xbox except show games that don't necessarily have.
In their defense, wasn't it called the Game Showcase? It wasn't like the Xbox Gaming Showcase or whatever. So it wasn't even really about the console.
True.
So I could see like falling on a technicality there, or but it's like
they might as well have called it the Game Pass Stravaganza at that point.
I agree. Like they're both showing what they look like. Give us prices, motherfuckers. Like let's go.
It's weird because like with phones, the Apple Showcase is showing an iPhone. When they're showing the new Pixel. That like both Sony and Xbox. Nobody has any idea what anyone's showing. And it's strange. But
I don't know. I mean, like I said, game's good, messaging, and we will leave it there for this week because I'm tired. Moose, you look tired. Jason, you're like live streaming. Before Moose takes us out, I got something I want to say, and you could just take us out right after. I don't trust stairs. They're always up to something. At Story Route Zero, we have some cool friends who do some cool things, and I'd like to tell you about them. Phoenix Overdrive uses the power of games and gamers to help heal sick kids through the charity Extra Life. Phoenix Overdrive fundraises for Children's Miracle Network hospitals all year, every year, and the fund culminates in a 24-hour gaming marathon. Find out more about their events and projects online via Facebook at facebook.com/Phoenix Overdrive or on Twitter and Instagram at PHX_Overdrive. You can also join the Facebook group of Pawn Stars at facebook.com/groups/PO Nation in order to share and discuss all the latest in nerd culture. They've also got a podcast, Nerd Overdrive, which you can see weekly at youtube.com/Phoenix Overdrive. You can also catch it on Facebook Live or twitch.tv/PHX_Overdrive. That podcast is also published on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. You want merch? They got merch. Merch can be ordered from tinyurl.com/PHXOD merch, a portion of which goes to their fundraising efforts. Join the nation and be a hero to sick kids, as El Capitan Rey Osorio, Lee the Maestro, and Becky, the lovely queen of the guild, always say, #Rise Above. This has been an episode of Story Route Zero. Thank you for coming along on this journey. We sincerely hope you enjoyed yourself as much as we enjoyed having you. Once again, you can find everything we do at StoryRoute0.com. Hit us up on Twitter at StoryRoute_0, or you can email us at StoryRoute0@gmail.com. If you'd like to hit us up individually anywhere, you can find Moose at Sven, that's SVHENN, everywhere on social media. That's PSN, that's Twitter, that's Instagram. You can also find him on Twitch, streaming games. You can find Jason Marshall at GimpyJ, with 2 Y's at the end. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's Twitch, and he also has a website called whereisthepausebutton.com. Captain Canada is the only Story Route Zero exclusive. He's the only one you can only find right here on the show. As for me, I'm infinite_rewind everywhere I'd like to be. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's PSN, and Twitch. I also have my own website, infiniterewind.com, where I do all sorts of weird writing and rambling. Check us out at all the places. And remember, you are always welcome, and you will always have a seat waiting for you on this ride. But for now, it's back to the real world for us. We will see you on the next one.